town, so welcome, and let's get started. So the first order of business is roll call.
Mayor Rogers.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Holland.
Here.
Commissioner Brownlow.
Here.
Commissioner Plum.
Here.
Commissioner Sanderson.
Here.
Commissioner Wooten.
Here.
Okay, great. And then Commissioner Brownlow, if you will start us off with prayer.
Bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts for the many blessings you have bestowed upon our town, our nation, and our families. We gather to conduct the business of the town of Emerald Isle, so we ask for your wisdom to make decisions that are fair, thoughtful, and in the best interest of all who call this special place home. Help us to listen with open minds, speak with respect, and remember that although we may not always agree, we always share the same goal of serving this beautiful town. We also pause to thank you for your many blessings and for watching over our residents, visitors, and first responders during another busy 4th of July holiday. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, before we move forward tonight, I would like to take a moment to recognize the passing of a former town commissioner, Mr. Normile. Jim served the town of Emerald Isle from 2014 to 2023, and during that time, he gave many years of service to our community. He cared deeply about Emerald Isle and was involved in important conversations and decisions related to economic development, public safety, beach nourishment, and the long-term future of our town. Public service requires time, commitment, and a willingness to be a part of difficult decisions, and we are grateful for the years Jim dedicated. On behalf of myself and the town, we extend our sincere sympathy to his wife Elaine and to their family. At this time, I am asking everyone to join me in a moment of silence in honor of Mr. Normile and in gratitude for his service to our community. Thank you. Our thoughts and prayers remain with him and his family this evening. We can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So next we have the public comment for this evening. If you have signed up, I do ask that you come to the podium and state your name and your address. And if you don't feel like speaking in a public forum, but you would like to reach out to us, all of us are available for you at any time. Okay? So Lindsey, I assume we have Miss Commissioner Mary Ann
I am.
up first. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mary Ann Waldrop, 103 Sandcastle Drive, and also County Commissioner, District 4. I just couldn't let this opportunity go by without giving the elected officials and our town leadership the appropriate accolades that you deserve. And the 4th of July and the 250th celebration at Emerald Isle probably is the best celebration that this town has ever seen or witnessed. In addition to that, and I will get back to that in a minute, the trolley service that is being offered from the town is spectacular. It's an offering that I am grateful for, although I have not used it yet. I am certain my friends have. I would like to thank Commissioner Sanderson for her plug that she gave last month for encouraging people that support this town to give in support of this first year's trolley trial. We don't encourage or want to use taxpayers' dollar, but in order to get this effort and a proven template for what is possible in the future, I would encourage anybody that does not endorse drinking and driving, wants to encourage good parking, not towing, to participate with Commissioner Sanderson and myself and others who have already given to get this first year off the ground for the summer of 2026. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you,
Board. for voting to do that. I know that that was a mixture of feelings to do that because it is the execution of taxpayers' dollar. But I hope that with the businesses that are benefiting from this service, that they also are going to give willingly. So thank you for that, and I hope people are using and enjoying that service. For the 4th of July, we have a lot of people to thank, and I'm sure Commissioner Plum will take it very well from here. But Mike Stanley, we couldn't have done this without the permission and the generosity of our dear Mike Stanley, who owns Bogue Inlet Pier, and we are grateful for his decision to allow fireworks again. Thank goodness for fireworks. I was able to stay at home, not clutter the roads, and enjoyed my 4th. Additionally, EI Happenings, a creation, I think, of Commissioner Plum, all the people that participate in the events committee, EI for Vets, under the leadership of Natasha Fogel, and the community volunteers to make all the events that happen for the weekend of the 4th of July. Let Me Stay Home, and many other permanent residents of Emerald Isle to enjoy what we had always wished for, which is frolicking and festivity here on Emerald Isle. So thank you very much for your giving and your consent to let those things happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. That's it? No Irv tonight? We can't have you here, Irv, without anything to say. Thank you, Irv. Are there any other comments for this evening for someone who might have forgotten to sign up? Okay. All right, we'll move forward. For those comments that were made last meeting, there is a printout of those comments as well as the town's follow-up reaction comments, if you'd like a copy of that. So, Lindsey, can you check for the conflict of interest?
Any conflict of interest there, Lagos?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Holland?
No.
Commissioner Brownlow?
No conflict?
Commissioner Plum?
No.
Commissioner Sanderson?
No.
Commissioner Wooten?
No.
Okay. May I ask for a motion for to adopt the agenda as written?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So next up, Town Manager Frank Rush, would you like to begin with the introduction of new employees and the recognition of some others?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Lagos, Commissioners. Jeff, if you could, please just come to the podium. Get the privilege tonight of reintroducing a familiar face to many people in the community. Very pleased to have Jeff Waters returning to assist us as the interim police chief in the Emerald Isle Police Department. Jeff began work again with us on June 29th and will be assisting us over the next few months and helping keep the police department on track going forward. Jeff, as many of you know, worked for the town for many, many years, started in 1984, I believe.
I was 10 years old, okay?
Excuse me.
And retired as the chief of police in 2016. So Known Jeff for many, many years. Good man, good law enforcement officer, and just thankful to have him here with us tonight. So thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Welcome back. And next, Fire Chief Parker, if you'd like to come up. Oh, wait, did I miss something here? Oh, I did. Jeff, did you have someone to introduce tonight? Sorry. Too many chiefs on my paper.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, and staff, especially the citizens of this beautiful town, I would like to introduce Officer David Busby. David, come on up here, brother. Smile for him now, brother. Smile. David is originally from a small farming community in Montana. Officer Busby began his career in public service by serving in the United States Marine Corps as a helicopter mechanic. Officer Busby attained the rank of sergeant, leading more than 100 Marines and overseeing the maintenance and operation of readiness of 37 helicopters. Following his military service, Officer Busby served with the Jacksonville Police Department for 6 years, where he worked on their patrol, their traffic unit, and served 4 years as a K-9 handler with his partner, Brinks. During his tenure, he became a certified drug recognition expert, one of just over 100 active in North Carolina, and also served as a field training officer, mentoring and preparing newly hired officers for successful careers in law enforcement. Officer Busby later joined the Kinston Police Department, where he was promoted to corporal, before being selected as a narcotics detective assigned to the Violent Crime Action Team. In addition to his investigative duties, he served as a SWAT operator. You dangerous, Bo. Field training officer and member of several departmental committees ensuring both community safety and officer health and well-being. Prior to his departure, he was honored with the Distinguished Service Award for his dedication and lasting contributions to both the department and the community. Officer Busby currently holds his intermediate certificate, nearly 1,800 plus training hours, and is in the last semester to finish his associate's degree. Yes, sir. He brings a wealth of military and law enforcement experience to the Emerald Isle Police Department. Having previously called Emerald Isle home, he is honored to serve this community and remains committed to protecting its residents, building strong community partnerships, and upholding the highest standards of professional law enforcement. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, sir. Excuse me.
Okay, now Chief Parker.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to recognize several members of the Emerald Isle Fire Department. We're proud to introduce 6 new hires who have joined our team, along with 3 members who have earned a well-deserved promotion. Each of them brings valuable experience, dedication, and strong commitment to serving the community, and we're honored to recognize them tonight. When we get to the promotions and they come forward, I do want to recognize their families and their families that come up with them. It's very important that we acknowledge the families because often they're overlooked, and their support really, their support is what enables us to do our job each and every day, and so it's important that they come with them. So thank you. First, I want to recognize new hires. First is Castillo. You want to come forward? In addition, we're going to give them their helmet front for probationary as well. Firefighter Castillo was born and raised in New York City, where she built a strong sense of resiliency and work ethic. After high school, she enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, which played a major role in shaping her discipline, character, and commitment to her service. Over the past year in emergency services, she has discovered a passion for helping others and serving her community. Cass first joined us as a part-time firefighter and before being hired. She is a family-oriented, motivated, being devoted mother to her daughter, and she brings professionalism, compassion, and a strong sense of duty to the Emerald Isle Fire Department, and we're grateful to have her on our team. Next, we have Eric DeLuca. You want to come forward? Firefighter DeLuca was born and raised in Queens, New York, and enlisted in the Marine Corps at age 18. He served 4 years at Cherry Point and now lives in Newport with his wife and their dogs. He graduated from the Carteret Community College Fire Academy in May and earning his Firefighter 1 and 2 certifications. Emerald is a wonderful place to begin their fire service career, and we're glad that he chose us. So thank you. Next, we have Bradford Hopkinson. If you want to come forward. Brad comes from us from Newbern, North Carolina. He's an avid outdoorsman who enjoys hunting, fishing, and spending time on the water. He played football and baseball in high school and recently completed his associate's degree at Carteret Community College along with the Fire Academy. He is now beginning his fire service career with the Emerald Fire Department, and we're also glad to have him join our team. Next, we have Jordan Pendrick. Firefighter Pendrick is originally from Phoenix, Arizona, not New York. So he's moved to Newport 4 years ago and previously worked in law enforcement for 8.5 years. He's been married for 18 years and has 2 wonderful children. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his family, going to the beach, and attending cookouts with friends. We're excited to have him join us, and we're glad he chose his public service career as a firefighter with our department and not the police department. Next is Reagan Roberts. Firefighter Roberts comes from us from a strong background both in public safety and military service. He's a Marine Corps veteran who served 6 years as an infantry squad leader before transitioning to the fire service. His experience includes firefighting, water rescue, rope rescue, tactical medical operations. He is a nationally registered as advanced EMT as well as a SWAT medic, originally from Texas. He holds a Bachelor's of Science in the University of Studies from Texas Tech University with a concentration in business, finance, and organizational leadership. He has already been serving our department as a part-time member of the department, and we're proud to have him now in a full-time capacity. We are also fortunate to have him. All right, next we'll move to promotions. I think I did. Nick Dean. Oh, I skipped him. Sorry. All right, Nicholas Dean, come on up. Sorry about that. Firefighter Dean recently relocated to Newbern, North Carolina. He is originally from upstate New York and later lived in California before enlisting in the Marine Corps, where he served from 2021 to 25 with the 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. During his service, he deployed to South China Sea and worked as a marksmanship trainer. After completing his service, he also earned his New York EMT and National Registry EMT certifications and worked with the Northern Duchess Paramedics. He then moved to North Carolina, completing the Fire Academy, and now is beginning his fire service career with the Emerald Fire Department, and we are glad that he is on our team as well. Lieutenant Emde, you want to come up here with your family? Yeah, right here. All right, Lieutenant Emde has been with the Emerald Fire Department since February of 22. He is a father, husband, and dedicated firefighter who serves as a rescue swimmer, EMT, fire inspector, and previously as an engineer. Before joining us, he spent nearly 10 years with the Boston Fire Department, Marine Corps. And with his final deployment in Fallujah in 2006 as a squad leader, he deployed with our department to Fairview during Hurricane Helene to support recovery efforts. Outside of work, he enjoys spending time on the water with his family, cooking at home and at the firehouse, and playing guitar. Grant has shared how grateful he is for this opportunity to serve the community he now calls home, and we're proud to have him part of the Emerald Fire Department in a leadership role.
Sir.
Matthew Gebe's next. If you want to come up here. I tried my best. Next is Lieutenant Gebe, has been with the Emerald Fire Department since 2021. He began his fire service career in upstate New York as a volunteer at age 16 years old. He worked his way up to assistant chief with his volunteer department after moving to Emerald. He missed serving his community and joined our department. Gebe was later hired full-time and attended paramedic school at Carteret Community College. He served as an engineer paramedic before being promoted to lieutenant. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his family and fishing whenever he gets a chance. We are proud of his promotion and excited to see how he continues to grow in this role. Congratulations. Next, we have Captain Kyle Scantlin. Captain Scantlin has served the fire service since 2006 and joined the Emerald Fire Department in 2009. He holds a bachelor's degree in construction management with a minor in business from East Carolina. Over the years, he has earned certifications including Fire Officer 3, Fire Inspector Level 3, Paramedic, along with additional training that has prepared him for a leadership role. He values strong community relationships and understands that service extends beyond emergency response. He and his wife, who grew up in the Emerald, are raising their daughter in the Crystal Coast. We're excited to see Captain Scantlin grow in his leadership role and look forward to the positive impact he will have on our department and community. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody, and welcome to all the new members of our town and team. Okay, next up on the agenda is we're on agenda item number 10 now. It's the proclamations and public announcements. I don't have any proclamations to read this evening, luckily, since I'm stuttering, but there are some public announcements. You know, we have Coffee with the Cop, Police Educating the Public, Emerald Fest is back every Thursday. These events are printed on the back table if you're interested. And then the consent agenda. Board, are you in a place to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, great.
Excuse me.
Next up is agenda item number 12 to talk about the ordinance regarding the use of masonry materials around pools. Planning Director Neville, if you will join us.
I will. Good evening, everyone. Today we are holding a public hearing for proposed UDO text amendments in section 4.3.2 of the ordinance, as well as creating a definition for masonry to add under section 10.2 definitions. The purpose of this ordinance amendment is to clarify that masonry decking, in addition to masonry pools, is not allowed in the ocean setback area, but appropriate alternatives such as paper blocks that do not include dry stacking or interlocking systems, wood, Trex composite, helical piles, etc. are permissible. The UDO has prohibited masonry swimming pools in the ocean setback area for many years, but there is currently no prohibition for the use of masonry materials for associated pool decking. The proposed amendment would prohibit the use of masonry material for the associated pool decking, which would remove any confusion or the opportunity for the incorrect interpretation of the UDO. The amendment would also add a definition for masonry, which includes the use of a bonding agent to connect masonry materials. CAMA also prohibits masonry and concrete decking in the ocean hazard setback area. The amendment would read that concrete swimming pools shall not be permitted, and concrete decking shall not be permitted around fiberglass swimming pools. Paver blocks or bricks that are bonded together also shall not be permitted. The definition of masonry would state that masonry is the craft of building structures by laying individual units like bricks, natural stones, or concrete blocks and binding them together with a bonding agent called mortar. It is widely used to build durable, load-bearing walls, foundations, and architectural features. On June 22nd, the Planning Board reviewed the amendment and voted 5-1 to recommend adoption, but stated they would like for us to add a definition for masonry in our ordinance. They also completed a plan consistency statement stating that the amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan and is reasonable and in the public's best interest because on page 3-9 it states, the Coastal Resources Commission designates areas as AECs to protect them from uncontrolled development that may cause irreversible damage to property, public health, or the environment. And allowing masonry decking within a North Carolina AEC can cause significant damage to both the coastal ecosystem and neighboring properties. All required public hearing procedures have been performed as directed by our ordinance and state statutes. Within the public notification period, we didn't receive any calls, emails, or citizens that visited the planning department requesting more information about the proposed amendment. At this time, we ask the board to make a motion to begin the public hearing before then making a final determination. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No comments? Would anyone like to comment? No? Okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ward, do we need to discuss, or are we okay with the motion as written and the
No,
changes?
I would just add, and I appreciate the update, the very clear and concise definition of what is not allowed. Should make this clear to anybody that wants to put a deck or a pool in the affected area. So thank you very much. And the planning board did a great job pulling this together as well, so thank you.
Okay. Would anyone like to call the motion?
John, the existing structures that are out there now, I mean, those are going to be grandfathered, correct?
Yeah, I would assume so, yes. Yep.
Make a motion to adopt the ordinance amending UDO to clarify prohibition of use of masonry materials for pools and pool decks in the ocean setback area.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, John. Okay, Lindsey, now we're going to call on you to discuss the implementation of the classification and compensation study.
Hello, everyone. Tonight, the board is being asked to consider 2 action items to implement the classification and compensation study completed by the Pontifex Consulting Group. The first action item is a motion to adopt the new fiscal year 26-27 pay plan, which reflects the recommendations from the compensation study. The recommended pay plan can be found in your packets starting on page 53, and the packets are available online for the public to view. During the June 9th presentation, the study found that the town's salary ranges are generally below the current market, with minimum salaries averaging about 6% below market. As part of the July 24th payroll, all employees will receive the board-approved cost of living adjustment. After those increases are applied, 19 employees will still fall below the new minimum salary for their positions. Approximately $62,000 of the $100,000 budgeted for market adjustments will be used to bring those employees up to at least the new minimum pay rate. The remaining $38,000 will be used later this summer for targeted market adjustments for employees whose salaries remain below a competitive level within the new pay ranges based on experience and longevity. The second action item is a motion to adopt the resolution amending several sections in the town's personnel policy to be consistent with the new pay plan. So the key amendments highlighted in it are removing references to the former hiring rate and replacing it with the new minimum rate. And the resolution amendment also establishes a standard 12-month probation period for all newly hired employees. New employees would continue to be eligible for a 5% increase upon completion of the probationary period, which would place the employees at a salary that's at least 5% higher than the minimum rate in the new pay plan. This creates consistency across the organization, helps reduce salary compression, and provides department heads additional time to evaluate new employees. The new 12-month probationary period for employees would only apply to new employees hired after today. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, let's open it up for discussion.
What would be the total annual recurring cost on this? On total plan?
Laura.
The total, and I guess the question of, I'm not sure how to answer your question. I'm looking at Frank, just 'cause
Yeah, so essentially that $62,000 of expense that would become part of those 19 employees' salaries. We also have the benefits factored into that as well. So that is an annual recurring cost, obviously subject to whatever salary adjustments we may make in the future. In addition, whenever we implement and allocate the additional $38,000, that'll be a recurring cost each year as well. Theoretically, we have the budget capacity available for that in future years because it's a part of the current year budget. As we discussed a little bit at your meeting in June, we do expect that this is the first phase of market adjustments, and that we expect that perhaps later this fiscal year, perhaps in next year's budget, perhaps even a little longer, we'll make additional adjustments to bring our existing employees who are already within the range a little higher in the range to reflect their experience and their qualifications and so forth. That will certainly be an additional cost, and we'll bring that to you for consideration at the appropriate time. But as of now, that $100,000 is a recurring cost, but we've theoretically got the capacity for that in the budget. So.
Thank you, Frank. Yeah, I think it's a good plan. I think that's going to help us to retain some quality employees and provide some good motivation to continue the good work that they're doing. And it's, I think it's also a fiscally responsible plan. So it's a good job. Thank you.
As far as the probationary period, what's being proposed versus what's already in place now, how does that negatively or positively impact future or oncoming employees?
So I think it helps, it makes it more consistent within the organization just because our police already have a 12-month one. It just kind of aligns things a little better between departments so that way we're all kind of on the same path. And also it just gives us more time to work with new employees to help better build their skills as well.
So no negative impact as far as attracting new top talent?
I don't believe so. Just our thought process was with the 12 months, since they're starting at a minimum instead of a hiring, that they'll be bumped up even higher since they've had a longer time to kind of build their skills.
Thank you.
Unless there's someone else, I make a motion to adopt the fiscal year 26-27 employee pay plan.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We also have a motion to adopt the resolution amending the personnel policy.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mayor Lagos, Commissioner, I just want to personally thank you for your commitment to the employees for taking the initiative to move forward with the pay plan as part of last year's budget and then seeing it through to implementation. I think it's a great first step to getting our salaries more competitive, rewarding the good people that we currently have, hopefully retaining them for many years and attracting new people to come to the organization. So I just want to publicly thank you. Great step for you, and we appreciate that.
Well, I want to publicly thank you guys for splitting this up into 2 years. I think the way you've handled it has been really fantastic, proportioning it some of it in this year and then the following year's budget. So I think that was really good pre-planning.
At the end of the day, we can sit up here and yay or nay anything we want, but without top talent, whether it's police, fire, parks and rec, public works, they're the men and women that make this town go around. So anything in the world that we can do to make their lives better, make sure they're adequately compensated and appreciated, yeah,
I second that.
Louder for those who missed it.
Do you need a microphone, Jason?
Second. No, I can speak, Rob. I swallowed one at birth. We'll be good there,
Yeah.
but
I second what you said.
just a hats off to all of these men and women.
You saw that tonight by those that were introduced, the level of experience. I feel safe, very safe.
Fantastic. Okay, so agenda item number 14 has to do with keeping us even safer. So Chief Parker, if you'll join us again to talk about the lease agreement for a temporary fire station while we build the new one.
Yeah, good evening once again, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm here tonight to speak about a resolution authorizing a lease agreement for temporary fire station number 2. As you know, we are quickly approaching the projected start date for construction of new Station 2, which is scheduled to begin around early August. We have identified a property at 103 24th Street, Unit N, as a temporary location. This will allow us to house an ambulance, engine company, and a rescue unit equipped with a jet ski, so a full complement of what is normally out of Station 2. This property has adequate parking and is located just 4/10 of a mile from the current Station 2. It is important that we maintain a full response capabilities to ensure incidents in the eastern corridor are handled appropriately without delay in response. As outlined in that resolution, it authorizes the town manager to execute a lease agreement with Coppersmith LLC at a cost of $1,950 per month, with a maximum cost not to exceed $25,350. This includes a 12-month period and a 1 month of refundable deposit equal to 1 month's rent. The 2-bedroom duplex will meet the needs of our staff and can accommodate 4 shift personnel throughout the duration of the construction. We anticipate moving into the new station summer of 2027, and our plan is to sign an initial 6-month lease and then continue month to month. The projected completion is about 10 to 12 months. They told us 9, but we feel good about the 10 and 12 months, so that month to month gives us option and flexibility. It is our plan to utilize one of our older engines, which will be staged outside, to help ensure the longevity of our newer vehicles, especially our brand-new engines that were just delivered. If everything works out, the older engine will be sold at auction once we move into the new station. The recommended action is to approve the resolution authorizing the town manager to execute lease agreement for temporary housing of Station 2, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
And this is at 103 24th Street?
Yes, sir.
And who's the owner of the property?
Their last name's Mills, but it's through Coppersmith LLC.
I think it sounds like a very reasonable space and a great location. Yep.
Chief, you see any concerns?
No, sir.
Laura, do you see any concern?
I can't think of any.
Frank, do you see any concern?
No, I think it's a good option for us. It's close to the existing fire station to enable us to keep responsive, quick service in the eastern part of town, central part of town. The only thing I do want to point out to the board is that we expect to utilize some of the FEMA funding available for these lease payments. We do have to go through an approval process with FEMA for that. We're optimistic that will be approved. In a worst-case scenario, if that's not deemed an eligible expense, we'll certainly need to identify alternative funds from the town. I don't think that's ultimately going to be necessary, but we're going through that process right now. As I think you all probably have learned by now, those are not quick processes with FEMA, but I think it's a great approach. My thanks to Chief Parker and the fire department for working hard to find a good location. They actually looked at many different locations, and for a variety of reasons, whether it was location or cost or just the area available. Those didn't work out, but we think this is a good solution.
And this will help us maintain uninterrupted fire service.
Yes, sir.
And in the event that the sky falls with FEMA, we're scrambling for 23.5 plus a month-to-month after, worst-case scenario?
Yeah, worst-case scenario, we'd be identifying alternative town funds for that. Obviously, the ultimate backup plan is fund balance. We prefer not to touch that. And I'm optimistic. I think the FEMA funding will work out. It's just a matter of going through the process. And if it doesn't, we'll bring you a responsible plan for that.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Anyone else's questions?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing lease agreement for temporary fire station 2.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, so appointments to the Planning Board and the Board of Adjustments, as well as Youth Advisory Council. That's what we're going to talk about next.
Excuse me.
So there are 3 vacancies on the Planning Board, so we need to discuss whether we want to reappoint the 3 most recent elected board members, or if we want to open up for applications. For actually, the Board of Adjustments and the Planning Board. We'd like to open up the discussion.
I'll open it with a broad sweeping comment that it seems, as of recent times, that the planning board has been prompt and been thorough and provided us with some solid guidance, whether we kick something down or it comes back up our way. I haven't heard of any rifts or conflicts or anything like that. Seems like if there has been any major problems, they would have come to light. Not that I'm in tune with everything or I hear everything, but certainly haven't heard anything negative from our planning board. And tonight, case in point, they made a pretty solid recommendation. So I don't have any problem with the reappointments, and I'm happy to discuss otherwise.
Thank you, Jason.
I've attended several planning board meetings and kind of got a pretty good feel for the way they work and the way they operate. And we're blessed to have such a talented field of people with diverse backgrounds serving our community. In the same respect, there's definitely other people who would like to serve our community too, and look for opportunities and I just hope that we're transparent in our selections, and that the people we pick and appoint to these positions take it seriously, do their homework. I mean, they're helping shape and mold the future of our town and sustainability of it. And it's a very, very important role, especially, both boards are. And I know the Board of Adjustment seems like, they haven't had much action. That's probably a good thing, because people have to appeal a determination of the planning director to be able to get there to the Board of Adjustment. And I think because we have such clear cut, we're making the rules better with very specific guidelines that it removes the need for a Board of Adjustment, but it's good to have 2 separate boards. So with that being said, I just, maybe we can review our policies and the way we do board appointments, and try to find a way to engage more citizens and give other opportunities for people to share these responsibilities in the town. When we filled it last time, we opened up for applications, and we received 14 applications. That shows the strong interest that people want to serve our community. And I think it gives them a chance to be engaged. And so just in the future, maybe we can review that and find ways to incorporate spreading it out a little bit more. Thanks.
Are you thinking you are okay reappointing, or would you like to open it up for applications?
Anyone else got any comments? Or?
I believe that these boards don't meet that often. And if we keep changing who's on those boards, there never becomes a sense of continuity about what their role is really supposed to be. They need to get their feet under them. And if we keep changing, that's never going to happen. So I feel like we need to reappoint these members. We just interviewed, like Roy, you said, 14 people in February. And when we redo long-range planning or comprehensive plan, things like that, I think that's where those people could play a vital role. Board of Adjustments is brand new, and they barely ever meet. So those people haven't had any time to become familiar with the role. So I'm in favor of just reappointing those that are already in place.
And don't take this wrong for anybody, but like the range of experience on our planning board, there's one member on that has over 20 years serving on the planning board. And sometimes it's good to have fresh ideas and new visions and or for a growing town, growing, not in expansion, but still growing in sustainability and resiliency. So I would say that, there's another person that's up for reappointment that's been on the board for 8 years. He's got great background experience. I mean, he's definitely bringing something to the party. He does his homework, from what I can tell. When I go to meetings, he's always well prepared. And then there's others that, I'm waiting to hear from them. I'd like to see some intermingling with the conversations, like they've got some input, instead of just tagging along. So I'm sure everybody does a good job. They do it their way, and we made it this far. And they're an advisory board, and the Board of Commissioners ultimately makes the final decision. So I get all that, but just trying to open up the transparency and opportunities for other people to be engaged. But I don't have any problems with the reappointments today.
So if we agree to reappoint and we feel like somebody isn't doing a great job, do we have the ability to say, we think we need to find somebody else? Or how does that work?
I think we need to establish some criteria for what a great job is first.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
just honestly, there are members of this board sitting right now who do make the final decisions, who don't have as much to say as other sitting members. That doesn't mean that they're less involved. That's not an illustration of involvement.
Yeah, I would say, and I think, to your point, I think we do the appointments, and if we wanted to replace somebody, I can't imagine the exact circumstance, but I believe we could if it came
Yeah,
up.
I don't know either, but.
In the unlikely event that it came up. But I think Roy makes a good point about always looking to provide opportunity. It's great that we have folks that want to serve, and to the extent that we can match folks that want to serve with the requirement, we should do that. I think in this case, there are things around training and I don't know that they're certifications, but qualifications that folks go through. And there probably haven't been enough meetings and enough runtime after they've gotten that kind of training to really take advantage of it. So we might lose some efficiency there if we were to reappoint, or not reappoint, but find new people each time. So I'm kind of in the same boat. I think these folks have done a great job so far as I can tell. They haven't had a whole lot of runtime in a couple of cases. One, they've got more. So to that extent, I'm okay with the reappointment. But I think Roy makes a good point about looking at the process and figuring out how do we maximize the opportunity for folks to find opportunities to serve, whether it's on either these two bodies or something else.
That sounds like a perfect committee for you.
Another committee.
And fresh perspective is always important. I'll agree with anybody that
But
says
so is
that.
institutional knowledge.
And this board has I hate to use the word power, this board appoints planning board members, so it would only make sense that if there ever was a clearly identified issue or problem with a board member, then this board would be the one that would make the decision to look into replacing it. So, but again, fresh perspective is important, but agreeing with Commissioner Plum, continuity is also important, especially given the idea or the understanding that every project we have is not a 90-day project. When I first came on, we had short, mid, and long-term goals. Short-term goals were 1 year, mid-term goals were 2, long-term were 3. So the time it takes to, quote unquote, get your feet wet, get an understanding of how things work, that's also important. So great points all the way around.
Do I hear a consensus to reappoint? Alicia, is that where you are?
I make a motion to reappoint Chad McAvery, Andrea Beasley, and Scott Bookout to new 3-year terms to the planning board that expire in June 29 and move forward.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are we reappointing?
Similarly, I'll make a motion to appoint Andrew Frick, Tim Kinch, and Mark Wicker to new 3-year terms on the Board of Adjustment to expire in June 2029.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay. So now we're moving on to the Youth Advisory Council. We had so many applications. It was so fantastic to read through them all. Has anyone filled out their sample ballots, or?
I have. And I checked all the boxes
I scribbled
because
one too in case it's
I
needed.
really like, I'm very enthusiastic about the enthusiasm and the folks that are willing to step up and serve, and the young folks. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for them and for us to help them get a better understanding about not only our town and our local government, but more broadly, the way government happens at the state and local level, the line of scrimmage between government and the people. And it's a tremendous opportunity for them to gain experience. I think one young man even noted in his application, this looked great on a college application, and I agree with him, it would. But I think there's also a lot of things that we could ask them to do for us that we can get their perspective, which is very different than I think any other perspective we would get around town, whether it's helping think about the beach strand and maintaining that. A lot of folks wrote about environmental conservation. There's a lot of good things happening there. We could probably use help thinking about the way we use social media and communicate not only to the younger generation, but the folks in between young people and me. But how do I think there's a lot of real good perspective here that we can get from these folks. And I don't think 14 is an unmanageable amount. My only concern is, and I'll commit some of my time to help do this, we can't let it become a burden to town staff and the leadership of the town staff because they already have full-time jobs. So we need to find the right balance amongst ourselves and working with these folks that it becomes a win-win relationship between the town and all these great folks that have volunteered. And that's kind of my thoughts on it.
I second
good thoughts.
what your thoughts. I think all of the students had great things to say on their applications, and all will provide a different perspective. And I can't wait to challenge them and see what they come up with and give different ways of thinking about things. Because they're young and we're older, so. It's going to be a good experience.
I also support all 14.
I agree, and I think that first and foremost, congratulations or thank you to all of the applicants. And 14 sounds like a really large number versus 8. Relatively speaking, it is. I think a couple of things will happen, not in a bad way. 1 or 2 or 3 may self-discover that their energies may be focused elsewhere, but even on a more positive note, they are young, they are up and coming, they are interested, and it's a lost art, if you will, for our youth to want to be involved in things like this. And I applaud every applicant, and I look forward to engaging with people that haven't lived as much life, haven't had as much life experience, hadn't gotten a little bit of cynical about them just due to life experience. I think that opens the door to some fresh insights and to give us some ideas that aren't already guarded, aren't already predetermined, and get it back down to basics, get it back down to brass tacks, excuse me, and might enlighten us to not overthink things too much and just take it back down to a grassroots, granular level. So thank you to all of our applicants, and I look forward to working with them. And if I can be of any assistance whatsoever, big or small, I look forward to the opportunity.
So should we move forward calling this the council, and then once we meet with them, then they appoint themselves to the board seats and we go through it in that way?
Or even maybe a hybrid structure, like maybe some of them could be on a board of commissioners and some of them could be a planning board members. And they could have other roles that would serve just as well, too.
Yeah, we can call it a council would be fine, and then the first meeting being organizational in nature and try and figure out who's best suited to do what, and that'll give us a little time between now and then to come up with a couple of options about how we might want to structure it. I can see aligning them by department, aligning them by what mission area of the town do we want them, because there's a lot of departments, for example, that have an intersection with maintaining the beach strand.
Yeah, a lot of them were concerned with that.
Maybe open it up like we had a suggestion, not the gospel, but we had 8 seats. We have 14 applicants. Have an open session with them, open dialogue about what the Board of Commissioners does, what the Planning Board does. I mentioned self-discovery a little bit. Maybe some think that Planning Board is better for me, or I really want to be on the board. Have that open session, a learning opportunity or an informational session, if you will. I think there's a spot for everybody one way or the other.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So it looks like the only motion we would need is to appoint the commissioner to serve as the board liaison to the Youth Advisory Council.
Make a motion to appoint Commissioner Plum for the advisor to the Youth Advisory Committee with the assurance that all of us are available to help her in any way that she sees fit.
All those in favor? Are there any other appointments?
With Commissioner Plum's willingness? Yeah.
Okay.
And could we possibly include a line item on next month's agenda to have that session with them? Or would that be the best way to proceed, or?
I think we have it, I think it was scheduled for August already.
August already? Okay, great.
August, I read it.
August 11th, yep.
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 Yeah.
All right, so we'll,
Day before my. Okay.
Yeah, actually, we've got their first meeting scheduled for August the 25th.
25th, sorry.
Every other month on the fourth Tuesday.
Right.
At 4 o'clock. And so I think, certainly over the next 6 weeks, we can talk with you all and work on coming up with the appropriate format and line up a productive meeting for them on the 25th.
Yes.
Perfect.
Agreed.
Awesome. Great conversation, everybody. Thank you. All right, so.
If you want these.
So moving on from comments from town staff. Lindsey? Anything? No? Laura? All right, Frank, how much are you going to load us up with? Oh, wait.
No comment.
Tommy, no?
No comment.
Okay.
Just highlight a couple of things, all very positive. We finally took delivery of the pipe for the Reed Drive Drainage Improvements Project. If you have been near CVS lately, it's stacked up back there in the grassy area along Old Ferry Road. So we had a supply issue, but the pipe is here. I'm waiting any day for Sunland to get started on the installation of that. So looking forward to getting that done. Wanted to let you know that I included some data in here about the trolley service. I think it continues to go well. Obviously, more ridership during the holiday weekends, but still pretty solid through all of the weekends. Actually, just right before I came to this meeting, had a really encouraging conversation with staff at NCDOT and at the CCAT's office here in Carteret County. And I think we've got an excellent chance at grant funding to cover the cost of this for next year and maybe even for a few years after that. So really encouraged by that. I expect to come back to you all at some point with a grant application, probably sometime in the next few months or so, but really encouraging and look forward to bringing you that. The last thing I wanted to say is thankfully the dune restoration at 3405 Ocean Drive, that is now complete. The Division of Coastal Management staff have approved it. Our staff has approved it. They've paid the requisite fines to both the state and to the town, and everything has been restored satisfactorily. Obviously, it's going to take some time for the American beach grass to fully take over on the dune, but they've actually planted it at a little bit more of a dense standard than would have been required. So I appreciate John Neville's hard work on that. Appreciate the input from folks in the community to make us aware of it and to keep us on track with that. So glad it's over. I hate that it happened. I am thankful, however, that it brought increased awareness to these issues. So thankful for that. Lots of other things in here. If there's any other questions you have, I'm happy to answer anything you have.
Questions or comments for Frank? You have a lot going on in this list. I'd like to say that. There's a lot going on. Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing about the parking and all of that coming forward. It was really great to see momentum on all those aspects. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, the staff were continuing to work on the paid parking options and alternatives, and actually had a really productive meeting yesterday with folks from Town Parking. So some really neat technology out there, and we'll bring you a full range of options and a recommendation, I think, at the October meeting is my goal, so.
Great.
But we're trying hard, and I appreciate the hard work of everyone involved with the town staff to move things forward, and look forward to talking with you some more about all these things going forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. Who would like to start for the round robin up here? I always feel like I put people on the spot. Alicia?
Sure. Thank you to everyone involved on the 4th of July event. I understand everything was very well received and haven't heard anything but positive comments. So my deepest appreciation to everyone involved in that. And thank you to the town staff who took care of us all. And there was a lot more of us, it seemed, this 4th of July. But it was great. I didn't see any service in the town skip a beat. And I'm always grateful for that and grateful for all of our staff and their service every day. That's it.
Thank you. Jay?
Yeah, I'll echo that. I think I've heard nothing but rave reviews of all the things that were available over the 4th. And thank you to Chris and Natasha and a cast of dozens, if not hundreds of others of volunteers that really made it work. I can't tell you how many folks said, oh, it was great, my kids could do this. And they were asking me questions about things I had to go look up. There was so much to do. It was almost hard to, an old guy like me to keep up with. But it was really well done, and look forward to supporting that going forward. I think that partnership between volunteers and the staff that really make things possible is a great model for supporting real high visibility, high impact events like that. So well done, Chris, and everybody else that worked on it. And thank you to the town. This town looked absolutely beautiful from the bridge all the way down to the east end of town. I know how much work goes into keeping that maintained, and I know that there were a ton of extra people here, and they bring a bunch of trash and everything else with them and wear and tear, but I think it went amazingly well, so thank you to everyone. And a big thank you to Mike Stanley for letting the fireworks happen at the end of the pier. That was really something to see. Again, folks, from the time we announced that that was going to happen all the way through this morning, I saw somebody that was telling me how thankful they were that we were able to do them at the end of the pier and how great the show was and everything else. So I think it was a fitting celebration for the 250th birthday of this great country. And I think Emerald Isle appointed ourselves quite well. So thanks to everybody that made that happen.
All right.
Frank, was there any way to tally how many visitors and people were Emerald Isle over the July 4th holiday?
I don't have any concrete numbers for you at this point in time. We have the traffic camera data, although we have had some malfunctions with some of the cameras here lately, but I don't have a good number for you. I'm sorry, but it sure seemed like a good crowd.
I think it was all of them.
Like over 50,000, I bet, people just congregated here. And I was just thinking about that, all weekend long. I mean, I could hear the sirens and, rescue calls and just the activities that were going on. People were congregating, having good times. Grills were fired up, man. It was a really, we were blessed to have that many visitors and everybody spending time with their families. And while we all were spending time with our families, I just wanted to let staff know that it didn't go unnoticed that you were spending time here, protecting our visitors, protecting us, and keeping the town clean and running smooth, safe. And it's just, that's probably our busiest time of the year, the July holidays. And your efforts don't go unnoticed, and we're truly grateful. It's echoed by my colleagues up here, too, that to those that serve Emerald Isle, and Frank and your staff and your team is very valuable. Thank you. And welcome, Tommy. Glad to have you back.
Jason?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'll keep it as short as I can. Welcome back, Interim Chief Waters. Mr. Busby, police officer, all of our new firefighters. I've gotten to know over the years several of our first responders, new fire captain Scantlin, Lieutenant Emde, and Lieutenant Gebe. Congratulations on your promotions. For all the work that went into the 4th and the success that it was from town staff, commissioners, volunteers, thank you. I say it almost every time. I think it every time. I might not say it every time, but to our fire, EMS, Public Works, Parks and Rec, thank you so much. Thank you to the Stanley family and the Bogue Inlet Pier for allowing the town to host our 250th celebration here on the island. It was fantastic. I got to take part in it in more than one way, but I don't want it to get lost on remembering, honoring, and memorializing former Commissioner, retired Marine Jim Normile. I met Jim, and I did write this down so I wouldn't mess it up too bad, but I met Jim when I first decided to run for public office back in 2020. Jim greeted me with a handshake, a smile, and nothing but positive words. I was fortunate enough to work with Jim at the municipal government level, but I was even more fortunate to get to know him as a friend. For the brief time that I knew Jim, he always treated me with respect. It was obvious that he was a family man first, a friend second, and a humble but extremely able public servant, always leading with factual data. I never saw Jim treat anyone with disrespect, even if his opinions differed from yours. It was always the opposite. You always knew where Jim stood, and he was always sure to let you know why. Whether it made you feel good or bad, he was respectful, he was honest, and you didn't have any questions when you left. I hold Jim and his memory and his family in the highest regard, and I hope to be the kind of husband, father, man, and friend that he was to us all. Rest in peace, Jim. I'm done.
Thank you, Jason. Chris?
That's a hard one to follow. Very nice words, Jason. I just want to point out the reason that we celebrated the 4th of July. If you were at the Emerald Isle for Vets Freedom Walk on the morning of the 4th of July, that was what it was all about. When we all walked to the flagpole and just respected our flag and those who have served us. So that was the most important part of the weekend. I just want to say thank you for the town support for the event and the Emerald Isle Happenings Committee and all of the volunteers. Everything went off without incident. There was not one incident. So I am so proud of this town and our visitors that you acted with respect and dignity while having a good time. So I'm hopeful that we can do that again next year, even bigger and better. We are regrouping this week to evaluate what went well and what we could do better. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to touch on a few things. Last week, I attended the Civilian Military Community Council. That happens, I think it's quarterly. And I just wanted to share that they expressed their true apology for the uptick of training at nighttime from the F-135s that, that we're in the flight line, and they understand it's a louder plane, and they were very sincere when they were apologizing for the noise, but they did warn us it's going to go on for a little bit longer while they continue to train with night vision goggles and all of that. But they were very sincere, so I wanted to share that to you guys. I also wanted to thank Commissioner Waldrop. She recently has put together a roundtable discussion with all of the mayors and town managers on the western side of the county to really get together and brainstorm about the possible effects of I-42 ending in our county, and just to make sure we have an open dialogue and we can talk through things and really brainstorm. And then also in Frank's notes, we did mention the shellfish moratorium. That is a meeting that's going to be happening tomorrow, so we're learning more about that, what may or how it may or may not affect us. And we have a meeting scheduled with lots of professionals and just to learn a lot about it. So that's happening tomorrow that we'll both be attending. And then again, the same thank you is from everybody else that has, talked about July 4th. I know my kids and I, we had created a lot of memories during that time. I think I shared with Chris during the water bog, not the water bog, and it used to be called the water bog and the salty pirate. I have never slid down those slides with my daughter before because I'm always working and all the things, and so we actually got to have the time to do that together. So that was really special, and I think it was a unique opportunity to bring our community together when this time period is normally so focused on tourism. We all tend to hide. And so it was really great to see our community out and actually enjoying what's in the town, you know. And also a big thank you to the police department. I know I saw many of the same officers at every single event, so they had to have been working overtime and just killing themselves. So thank you to everybody and to everyone. So that's all we have.
I have one more thing I needed to say. Without the event planning and execution of Natasha Fogel, this would not have happened. I could not do it by myself. So special recognition to Natasha. She is what Emerald Isle is all about. She
Yes.
is all about this town. So thank you, Natasha.
Yes, she did a fabulous job.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have to go into closed session.
Make a motion that we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318, 11A3 and A6, attorney-client discussion as well as personnel.
All right. All
If
those,
any decisions are made, we will come back into open session.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Wait.
Fun storming the castle. Have fun storming the castle. Thank you for my belly crook.
Oh.